Roll a cigarette, drugstore cowboy, feeling kind of old and out of place. Roll a cigarette, drugstore cowboy, loneliness is showing on your face. Shiny boots and carefully faded jeans, got a leather coat just like James Dean. Finest Stetson hat you've ever seen, hasn't smiled since he was 17. He's so mean. Roll a cigarette, drugstore cowboy, feeling kinda old and out of place. Roll a cigarette, drugstore cowboy, loneliness is showing on your face. Crack along the mirror behind the bar, cuts across his face just like a scar. Maybe I should pawn this old guitar, cut the deck, draw another card. So hard. Roll a cigarette, drugstore cowboy, feeling kinda old and out of place. Roll a cigarette, drugstore cowboy, loneliness is showing on your face. Loneliness is showing on your face. Loneliness is showing on your face.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in to episode number 13 of Live and Unscripted with yours truly, Boston Chris. And if you are a fan of the Bakersfield sound, that vibe, like Buck Owens, Dwight Yoakam, Merle Haggard, then you have come to the right place tonight. We are chatting with Buckersfield tonight for the very first time. I got to tell y'all, I heard Drugstore Cowboy for the first time. We do a song of the day every single day. We have been doing that for almost 800 days now. And I fell in love with this song. Come to find out that my good buddy Cliff Doyle is literally the manager behind this group. I had no idea when I heard the song for the first time. And just very, very serendipitous that is a thing, because that means that Jeff Lewis, Jeff Parker, they're both here today from Buckersfield to chat with us, not only about Drugstore Cowboy, but all kinds of other cool things, of which we will make up on the spot. So, as you guys know, Live and Unscripted is exactly that. We are live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you're following along. Take this moment right now to hit the like button wherever you're watching. Subscribe, follow wherever you're watching or listening. I appreciate you all for being here tonight. Episode 13 of this project already. I'm excited to chat with Buckersfield. Let's get into it with them. All right, we got Jeff Lewis and Jeffrey Parker here. What's up, guys? Welcome to the show.
How's it going, Chris? Great to be here, man. Thanks for having us.
Man, I got to tell you, I was just telling everybody in the intro. Can you not hear us, Jeffrey? I think we've lost Jeffrey again.
Yeah, I think we might have.
Which means he might have gotten a call or something while we were waiting.
Uh-oh. I'll text him, let him know that we're on
Yeah,
the
just
air live.
tell him to leave and come back, and it should fix itself.
Okay. Yeah. I'll tell him that. There it is. Yeah, we were working there for a minute, weren't we?
Lost my speakers.
So all that means is something else grabbed control of his speakers while we were waiting, and sometimes you just have to reboot, leave, and come back for StreamYard to get back in touch with that. But yeah, I was just telling everybody that I heard Drugstore Cowboy. I'm not sure where, some playlist somewhere, and I fell in love with the sound. And then come to find out that Cliff Doyle is managing you guys, and he's like a really good buddy of mine. And I was like, no way, that's killer.
Yeah, we go back to the mid to late 80s when Jeff and I started playing together. He booked and managed us then.
Yeah, so he just needs to leave and come back.
It's live, and
So he's not seeing your text message at all, so you might need to try to call him, I guess.
Yeah.
Leave us and come back. Something else grabbed your speakers, so leave us and come back.
Okay.
All right, there you go.
So where are you guys from?
Well, we're both from Oklahoma. I grew up here in Oklahoma, and we met, actually, the first time he played with me was at a place called Nowhere, W-H-A-R, but Texas, and that was back in the mid-'80s, and it was just a big showcase that Cliff did.
Really?
And I just got lucky. I knew I wanted to start a band. I was in college, and I had a drummer and a bass player, and that was it. And found Cliff, and he really liked what I was doing and liked the demos that I had. And he booked us for the showcase. And so Jeff played with me then, but I wasn't really playing enough to have him full time. So as we got bigger and got more gigs, he finally joined up with us, and we played all over Texas, Arizona, Colorado, Oklahoma, all over for a few years, and then ended up moving to Nashville, and now we kind of found each other again to play some more.
So, man, when I saw that both of y'all's name was Jeff, I was like, man, I get the Buckersfield reference, and I want to talk about that in a minute, but, I mean, shouldn't it be Jeffersfield or something like that? I mean, it's like...
About that, yeah, the double J.
Yeah.
Well, he was funny because Jeff said, we both love that Bakersfield sound, Merle, Buck, Dwight, and everything influenced, Wynn Stewart, everything influenced by that. And since we were fortunate enough to open for Buck and Nitty Gritty Dirt Band, a bunch of others, Rodney Crowell, John Anderson, I go, well, it's called Buckersfield. That's something kind of different. And so that's kind of where we came up with it. And so it stuck, and that we've been having fun. The music business is so different now.
Yeah.
You used to get a van, play around, get an audience. Now you get an audience, then you go get a van and play around.
So, Jeffrey, can you hear us now?
Oh yeah, man! I had to bail out of my new fancy MacBook Pro. I'm back on my iPad.
I was just worried that a bear didn't get you, but that's good.
You got changed once already.
I'm ready.
I'm not sure that was allowed. It was live and unscripted, y'all.
It's non-lethal. It's non-lethal.
Live and unscripted.
It's Super Bowl only.
Obviously, it makes sense. The Bakersfield sound, which all three of us are clearly really big fans of, and then of course Buck Owens being so prominent within that vibe, and I mean the congregation of the two songs. I know I messed that word up, of the two words rather, Buckersfield. So where did it come from? Just like somebody had to drop this word at some point, right?
Well, we figured since we opened for Buck, and Jeff said, let's do a Bakersfield kind of vibe, and because it's what we all love and we're influenced so much by. And I said, well, if we're going to do it, let's just call it Buckersfield, since he was such an influence on us.
When we were out in Nashville together, we were doing studio work together, and we had this little side project. There's a little town west of where I was at Franklin area, called Bucksnort. And so we were kicking that around, and ironically, we came back around and we were just having a conversation, before this all kicked last year. And I said, "Well, what are we going to call it?" And it just kind of spit out and birthed itself. So it's extremely appropriate, I think.
Yeah. And I mean, the single Drugstore Cowboy is quintessentially that sound, that Bakersfield sound. But it's an original song, right? So
Right.
talk about kind of writing within a certain style, a certain vibe, and making things modern.
Well, what's interesting is my neighbor, T.Z. Wright, who's a great musician, kind of a legendary Americana type artist. He played with what was that band, Jeff?
Well, I've known him for years. There's a wild connection we've had, but he was in a band with a singer that I worked with years ago called Crossbow. TZ's from Northwest Oklahoma. There's a whole group of musicians that are out from around there. TZ, they were all up in Red River in the 70s, Red River, New Mexico, with Michael Martin Murphy and Ray Wiley Hubbard. He's real good friends with all the guys that were in the original Cowboy Twinkies.
And he's my neighbor. And what's so funny, I knew he was a musician.
It's ironic because I've known him for years, and I've been playing his music.
Yeah,
I have been playing his music since the 70s through a singer that he worked with. He did all his stuff, and so I was a huge fan. And then we reconnected. He was doing some studio overdubs for me on accordion on some things, and then come to find out he's Jeff's neighbor.
And it was funny because I would leave.
Full circle.
I'd be on my way to go to. I produce and take part in Elvis tribute festivals, big ones. And I do myself. I don't sing as Elvis, but I'll MC some, sing some, whatever, and do after parties, gospel shows, whatever. And I'd see TZ, and I knew he was a musician. I thought, oh, that's neat. I had no idea about his history. And so he's lived next door to me for 10 years. And for the first time a few months ago, we got together and jammed and ended up recording that song.
It's such a simple song, Chris. There's no bridge in it. There's no formula to it, but it's one of those kind of songs to me that you can see the whole thing play out in your mind.
Sure.
The video. Jeff's got a friend named Jeremy Childs, who's an actor. He's doing some work right now with Taylor Sheridan on the next seasons of Mayor of Kingstown,
and a bunch of films.
And physically he is the Drugstore Cowboy, and he actually rolls his own smokes. So we're definitely taking donations so that we can get a music video out on that.
Man, I'll tell you what, you talk about the simplicity of the song, and it's an earworm, man. The line about the cigarettes. Oh, man, it's something. Once you stop listening to the song, that line alone just stays with you, bro, like all day long.
And I always, we did it, he didn't have that second verse written. So when we played it for years, we would just do the first verse, the choruses and solos. So when I heard that second verse that he had written later, it was like, oh, well, man, this is first person. This is about a guy that, he's ready to thinking about maybe hanging it up, looking in that crack mirror.
Behind the bar is just so cool.
That's a great verse. Great verse. Yeah.
Man, I'll tell you what, man, I'll keep it real. There's usually you have one of two things. Usually you have a cover band or an original band, right? And somewhere in the middle of that is a tribute band, right? Who just does that one artist or a couple of artists that are similar. You guys are both. You're a tribute band and an original band. And I find that so interesting. Is there pressure on each of you as creators to come up with new material for an old vibe, so to speak?
Well, I was writing with McFadden Music, who Jack in Nashville, he managed Buck and Billy Ray Cyrus and Keith Whitley, who's I'm a big fan of his. And then I was writing for Glenn Campbell Music, so I've just got a catalog of
Yeah.
songs that I think I was the professional. Yeah, we'll hold that song guy in
Right.
Nashville for years. So we've already started recording Evangelina, the old Hoyt song, and then we're going to start coming
Got a
out
good
with
killer.
more original material that fits what we want to do.
You know, Chris, and from my background in writing, I'm more of a composer. I did a lot of film and documentary soundtrack work for the Discovery Network and rodeo films. I did three different rodeo films. One of them was called American Bullfighter, which is about rodeo clowns. Another one was King of the Cowboy, about Ty Murray's quest for the all around. So I've got that, and I grew up. My grandparents had an old radio out the farm, and I remember them listening to the Louisiana Hayride when I was just really little. I didn't pay any attention to it. And of course, when I got to be a teenager, I was a rock and roll. I didn't care about country.
Of course.
And I had a friend that was a steel guitar player, actually played everything. And he would sit me down and say, "Listen to this." And we listened to Buck Owens live at Carnegie Hall, I don't know how many times, and Merle Haggard, and it just, I think he planted the seeds. And you're talking about, Buckersfield and this whole thing. When I started doing the research, I was absolutely amazed. The guys like Tommy Collins, from being from Oklahoma, Buck's connection with Oklahoma. Merle's parents had a farm in Chakotah, Oklahoma. So that whole Dust Bowl connection, Route 66, it's almost like what we're doing is like a musical documentary more than it is a tribute.
Yeah. And I love how you're talking about the imagery of music and being a composer, right? Because
Yeah.
just the music alone without the lyrics can put images into your head,
Oh,
right?
that's some of my favorite things to do. I
Yeah, it
absolutely love
sounds
doing
like your background in film really helps with that. And then,
that.
I mean, at that point, when the music is that solid, the lyrics just take shape of their own, don't they?
Yeah, I'm ready Jeff and I have not had an opportunity to do some writing together, but you can bet that's going to happen. But yeah, his stuff, man, he's got a whole catalog of stuff. We've worked up 6 of his in the live show for the band, and we've got the rhythm section making charts and getting ready. And the first one we're going to drop, that Jeff wrote, and I'm not even going. I'm going to keep our cards close to our chest here, but uh, Cliff Doyle's handling our management and our publicity. And he said, well, when you're going to release one of Jeff's, you better make sure that you're in your branding lane. You want to be, and we said, Cliff, we got this. Well, he's like, yeah, yeah, yeah. So Jeff sent it over to him, and
Man,
we got this emphatic email from him, like, yes, that's it.
Because it's all influenced by Buck and Merle, and
Yeah, oh, big time.
I
Big
mean,
time.
the branding is I mean, it's top notch here. It's Buckersfield, bro. Like there's that's incredible. Like you
and
can't
it's
ask.
who we are, so it's authentic,
Sure.
Yeah.
Jeff Lewis, the question is, you have this catalog of songs that you've been waiting for probably more than a decade or two to get cut in Nashville. That's the waiting game of Nashville.
Yeah.
So now that you're kind of shaking the dust off some of these songs, no offense intended at all, how do you modernize them? How are you updating them, if there is any of that happening?
Yeah, I think that I'm not trying to break my arm, patting myself on the back, but I think I was always kind of trying to write forward anyway.
Okay.
And so it's in kind of a classic format. And so I think they have a classic format. What happened for me in Nashville was I had a lot of holds, a lot of session work.
Sure.
And then the country music industry changed so much. I mean, I don't know how to write for a 16-year-old, you know what I mean? And so I was always kind of writing ahead. And I think there's a place for all kinds of music. I don't mean to cut down anything, but it's just for what I personally did. Didn't really fit the newer bro country kind of stuff, which there's some great stuff out there. It's just not what I did. So
I think too, Jeff's stuff, his influences show through. It's definitely it's rooted in traditional country, and there's no bro country within miles of anything he wrote in Nashville. That's
I wish
sure.
it was. I'd probably be a lot richer. But,
and I'll tell you what, man, that vibe is man, it's like a new drug, right? Like everybody wants a hit of that because it's disappearing. That
It's
traditional
funny how
country.
it all comes. Yeah, it's all coming back around. We played a show, I guess when was that, early spring, at a college town, and there's 21-year-old college kids in there. We're doing kind of a official launch of the band, and we had some merch packs, and here these gals came up to the stage, and they're like, we're thinking, oh God, here we go. And they're screaming at us, we want to hear 1,000 Miles by Dwight Yoakam.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And we're like,
more
you're
Merle,
kidding
more
me.
Buck.
Yeah, more Merle, more Buck.
Original
We're
stuff
like,
as much as anything. That's
but
what.
I mean, gosh, you hear, what I'm hearing from Zach Top, John Party's a huge Buck Owens fan. He grew up out there in Kern County area, San Joaquin Valley, and those guys, and Chris Stapleton, Sturgill Simpson. You hear the roots. It's like we're coming back to that.
Yeah.
After what I saw lately in the casino markets were the '90s bands resurgence. Tracy Bird and Tracy Lawrence.
Bro, those guys they'll never be out of vogue, man.
Yeah,
they're
agreed.
always in demand. As long as they can still bring it on stage, man, they'll be coming out on stage with a walker and they'll still be bringing it. I promise you, because that 90s vibe, it'll never die. It was just a completely new thing. I was living it as a kid. I remember the way the music changed for the better in some ways, for the detriment in some others, right? But that's what made 90s, and that's why it still resonates today. And the whole Dwight Yoakam resurgence of Bakersfield in the 90s was such a huge part of that vibe as well. And I love that you guys are keeping it alive. So we mentioned Drugstore Cowboy. We played the song today. That is the single. Is there more coming? I know there has to be, right?
There is. We've got, and I'll let Jeff take over here in a minute. I'm doing I've been doing production work forever. I've got my own studio. I've did a lot of the Red Dirt stuff. I did recorded those in Stillwater, Oklahoma forever. So I did the first two Cross Canadian Ragweed albums. I worked with Lloyd Maines on overdubs for Jason Boland's Pearl Snap. So I've got that.
Just so we're clear, everybody has worked with Lloyd Maines. Like literally, man.
Oh, listen, it was so much fun. I love that guy. He's just
me too.
And he's awesome. But we have right now we're finishing up overdubs on a really cool kind of Mavericks Los Lonely Boys version of Evangelina by Hoyt Axton.
Yeah.
And then we've got a little EP that we're going to just basically use to give away promotional, but we've got three Buck covers that we had covered, and then Evangelina, and then we're going to put one of Jeff's on that. And it's basically like the single Drugstore Cowboy with all these B-sides.
Sure.
But the only way you're going to be able to get that is if you come to a show. And if you want to make a donation, that's great. If not, then you can have it for free. There's more coming. I'll let Jeff talk about his stuff.
Yeah, it's exciting and what's strange is I had such a large catalog. I wrote a lot with my best friend Mike Owens, who sadly is no longer with us, but Mike was with Arista and Universal South when they launched, and he was a great A&R guy, and we wrote a ton of songs by myself, and I'd forgot about a lot of them. And as I started going through the catalog, I thought, oh, that's right. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, maybe we could do this with this. So I'm really excited to get that out in the public, and it's gone over so well live. I'm even more encouraged by it.
Oh yeah.
Man, this is an opportunity for you as a songwriter to kind of choose the songs you wish had seen the light of day and shining a freaking light on them finally, right?
It's
Indies
exciting.
alive.
It's motivating too.
Yeah. Man, what a moment for you, dude. I'm excited for you as a songwriter because I
playing
know
with my brother Jeff. We got so many miles behind us and between us.
We had so much fun on the road back in the day. It was just ironic. Cliff Doyle, I know you've worked with Cliff too, Chris.
Yeah.
He was managing Jeff back in I guess it would have been in the 80s.
Yeah.
And he called me and said, hey, I'm putting a band together for this kid. And I said, okay, well, let me know what you got. And we just kind of connected, and then come to find out his drummer is from my hometown of Newkirk, Oklahoma. And I went to school with his older sister. My sister went to school with his other sister.
Well, I got to tell Jeff this. I didn't get to tell you because speakers weren't working at the time. But when I first heard Drugstore Cowboy, it was just from a random playlist on YouTube. And it had nothing to do with Cliff Doyle. And so when I heard the song, I was like, obviously I love the vibe. I'm a huge traditional country music fan. I put it on my list for Song of the Day, which we do every single day. And then
appreciate that.
yeah, no problem. So when I did the song of the day, that's when Cliff sent me the press release on Drugstore Cowboy telling me that you guys were working together and then looking for interviews. And I was like, hey, okay. So yeah, independent
we thought you saw the press release from the constant contact deal, and
no,
and it went from there. So it was more the chicken, but before the egg.
Yeah, so it was very organic how I learned about y'all. So
that's great.
That should be exciting for y'all because it wasn't Cliff that introduced me to y'all, and then to come find out that you guys have a background with Cliff that goes back 40 years, which again doesn't surprise me because I know who Cliff is and how much he believes in the music, and once he believes in you, he doesn't stop believing in you.
He's done a lot of work for us, and you know I played years even before that. Cliff and I were in bands together. He's a hell of a drummer.
Yeah,
and he doesn't talk about that much, but he was one of the best drummers.
Well, when I decided to do this, when we came back, I had a hiatus of 4 or 5 years on the podcast, and over that 4 or 5 years, I made a list of people that I wanted to chat with if I ever came back to do podcasting, and Cliff was number 2 on that list. So I was like, if I ever do this again, Cliff is going to be on the show, and Joe Doyle was number 1. It just happened to be both Doyles, right?
Okay, Chris, when you do Cliff again, bring up this name, Skippy Lee.
Okay.
And ask him about the adventure of Skippy Lee and have him tell you that story.
The Adventures of Skippy Lee. That just sounds like a story, right?
Oh, it's great. Oh, man. It's great.
You talk about how we were together in the 80s with Cliff and everything. I got to know Steve Earle a little bit, and he had a great line about that era. Right as it came into the 90s, and Dwight and all them were coming out, and he called it the great credibility scare of the 80s.
Oh man, what a great conversation this has been, guys. I want you guys to follow along with Buckersfield. It is Buckersfield.com, just like it sounds, but I'll spell it out: BUCKERSFIELD.com. Follow along over there. It's a great website. They have merch, which means you can help put gas in their gas tank for their tours and stuff. All your news and upcoming events is listed there. You can listen to the music there. Like you said, you can pay for it at a show, or they'll just give it to you for free, right?
Yep.
So
you'll get koozies and stickers.
And that means they just want you to listen to the music, and if you want to donate, donate. I appreciate you guys hanging out with us tonight.
Yes,
Thanks
sir.
for having us, Chris.
Thank you, Chris. We appreciate you, buddy.
No problem, guys. You have have a good rest of your day.
All right, see you, brother.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, guys. What a freaking fantastic what a fantastic time that was. Where am I? We are going right here. So many buttons, guys. I'm getting old, and there's a lot of buttons, and it's live and unscripted. What a fantastic couple of dudes that was. Man, I'll tell you what, it's not easy to interview 2 guys named Jeff, because then you're like, hey Jeff, and then hey Jeff, and neither one of them knows which one you're talking to. But it worked out okay. One was Jeff, one was Jeffrey, and maybe it should have been Jeffersfield instead of Buckersfield. I don't know. But make sure you guys are following along. It's Buckersfield.com. There is new music coming. Drugstore Cowboy is just the beginning of the project, so make sure you're following along on social media. I know they're on Facebook and Instagram at Buckersfield, so follow along with that. This has been episode number 13 of Live and Unscripted, and if you hang out for the next 20 minutes or so, we have episode 14 coming up very quickly with Orbis Max. And I also want to let you guys know that this weekend we have 2 shows. Actually, no, I think this is the last week no, it is not. We do have 2 shows this Friday or this weekend. One is on Friday, episode 198, featuring Texas country music Hall of Famer and legendary Mo Bandy. And then on Saturday, we have 3-time Grammy Award-winning accordionist and Tejano artist and Texas country artist Sonny Sauceda this weekend. Guys, what a legendary weekend we have coming up this weekend. And you guys don't want to miss it, because then the week after that is the season finale of season 2, episode 200, with Richie McDonald, formerly of the platinum-selling country band Lone Star and the current 1/3 frontman of the Frontmen. Along with Larry Stort and Tim Rushlow. I appreciate you guys hanging out with us tonight. Stay tuned for episode 14 in about 20 minutes. Much love.